Hello, everyone. A very good evening to all of you. It's a great pleasure to have you here with us today. My name is Shruti, and I will be your host for this session. We're going to wait a few more minutes for a few more people to join in. Please stay in touch. All right, let's go into the session now. Um, Before starting the session, we would like to give you an overview of Showtime tools that you will be using throughout the session. We have a questions tab on the left panel where you can post your questions during the QA session that will be conducted later. We will also be rolling out a few polls. You can look at them in the polls tab. You can participate in the session by asking doubts and answering questions through the chat tab. Our colleagues will be monitoring it, so any questions you ask will be answered promptly. We also have a few resources for you to read at your leisure after this session. You can download them from the Hands Out tab. So, our topic for the session is Streamline Your Data Collection with Zoho Forms. We have Swati here with us. She's a senior product marketing analyst, and me, of course. The QA session will be handled by our product support staff, Dilip. He'll be answering any product related questions you might have. And our product expert and trainer for the session is Ashia. Before we start, you have to make sure that you're signed into your Zoho account to mirror our actions and get some hands on experience with the product. Do not worry if you don't. This is a basic webinar that will help you get an overall view of Zoho Forms can help your business. This session will be recorded and emailed to you so you can access it anytime. You might also need to have admin privileges to access certain features in Zoho Forms that Asha will be guiding you through today. Also, we would like you to create a test instance so that you can experiment with the product without altering your existing settings. So, if you have questions before we start, you can post it in the questions tab. Meanwhile, I will be rolling out a few polls for you. These are some simple non technical polls that can help us understand how familiar you are with the product. Alright, I'll publish the results now. And the second one is, have you ever created and designed a form? This is not just limited to Zoho Forms, it could be any form builder in the market. All right. Looks like I had poor connection, guys. So I'd be repeating the slides and the content that I had said before. So please hang in there. All right. Let's go into the session now. Before starting the session, we would like to give you an overview of Showtime tools that you will be using throughout the session. We have a questions tab at the left panel where you can post your questions during the QA session that will be conducted later. We will also be rolling out a few polls. You can look at them in the polls tab. You can participate in the session by asking doubts and answering questions through the chat tab. Our colleagues will be monitoring it, so any questions you ask will be answered promptly. We also have a few resources for you to read at your leisure after the session. You can download them from the Hands Out tab. So, our topic for the session is streamline your data collection with Zoho Forms. We have Swati here with us. She's our senior product marketing analyst, and me, of course. The QA session will be handled by our product support staff, Dilip. He'll be answering any product related questions you might have. And our product expert and trainer for the session is Arshia. Before we start, you have to make sure that you're signed into your Zoho account to mirror our actions and get some hands on experience with the product. Do not worry if you don't. This is a basic webinar that will help you get an overall view of how Zoho Forms can help your business. This session will be recorded and emailed to you so you can access it anytime. You might also need to have admin privileges to access certain features in Zoho Forms that Asha will be guiding you through today. Also, we would like to create a test instance so that you can experiment with the product without altering your existing settings. So, any questions you have, question tab is always open for you. You can post it anytime. And it looks like our polls are ready, and we can publish the result of the second poll. All right. Thanks for participating in the poll, guys. We can see that most of you have worked with Zoho Forms and have some experience with form building. This is great. Thanks again. Moving on to the agenda, we have an introductory part where the trainer will show you the capabilities and features associated with Zoho Forms. You will also get some hands on experience with the product through some activities. At the end, we will have a recap before we wrap the session. Thanks for your patience and attention. That's it from me. I'm inviting our trainer for the day, Ashia, to take on the session. Ashia, please take the session forward.
All right, hello everyone, and thank you for joining today's session. My name is Ashia, and I will be presenting this session. In today's webinar, we will address how you can simplify essential business processes such as data collection and processing using Zoho Forms, our online data collection tool. In this pilot session of a developing series of webinars, we will step right back into the basics of Zoho Forms with an introduction to Zoho Forms, followed by a quick glance at the drag and drop builder itself and how you can build easily your forms using this builder. We'll discuss the various ways in which you can share your forms and get them across to your audience, your customers, and leads. Finally, we'll see how you can view and analyze submission data and reports. So without further ado, let's begin. Zoho Forms is a simple no-code online form builder that helps businesses with collecting and collating data using both web forms and an offline mobile forms app for Android and iOS. With Zoho Forms, you can eliminate a lot of paperwork and automate many workflows very easily. It is an easy and intuitive front-end data collection tool that collects data and allows you to transfer that data to many back-end apps via useful integrations such as integrations with Zoho CRM and Begin, Salesforce, Zoho Desk, Zoho Sheet, and Zoho Campaigns. With these integrations, you can easily collaborate with your teams, analyze the data present, and make further decisions. We also have 1,000+ apps integrated with Zoho Forms with the help of Zoho Flow and Zapier as intermediates. We plan on providing you with a much more comprehensive look at some of these major integrations in an upcoming webinar dedicated entirely to integrations, so please stay tuned for that. The simple user interface provides you with 30+ field types which you can choose from. We have classified these fields into two types, basic and advanced. Now, to explain the unique functions of these fields better, we will segregate them into further into a few more major categories. First up, we have the choice fields. As the name suggests, these fields provide respondents with an easy way to choose between multiple options in any query. They provide they provide the user easy mediums through which you can ask your customers any multiple choice questions. Under choice fields, we have the radio field, drop down, multiple choice, and checkbox. You can also provide choices with the help of images using the image choice field. Moving on, we have the information fields that can be used to collect information from respondents. For example, their names, addresses, documents or image files, multi-line answers to queries, and a lot more. The information fields can be encrypted to protect sensitive data and also to protect client information. The calculation and transaction related fields can be used to simplify various transactions and collect payments as well. They can be used in order forms for many small businesses, registration forms, reservation and booking forms, and even used in donation forms used by nonprofits. The date and time fields allow you to provide your respondents with a choice of dates and times. This is useful once again in many reservation forms, booking and appointment booking forms, and so much more. They can also be used to collect the date of birth of your respondents and other information as well. Organizational and instructional fields can be used to present your forms in a much more structured format. You can simplify long, complex forms by dividing them into multiple pages. You can also section out your forms and provide headings to different sections and also provide instructions under each section so that your respondents can have these instructions to guide them along the way. There are many surveys that show that a well constructed and well organized form increases the chances of your form to be completely filled in and submitted by the respondents. This reduces the number of times forms are abandoned halfway through. So, to aid you with this process, these fields are perfect. Finally, we have feedback and interactive fields. These are crucial for feedback forms and for surveys as well. They allow customers to provide you with their opinions as well as give you ratings for your services offered. So now that we've gone through briefly the 30+ field types offered by our form builder, let's move on into our hands-on session where we log into our Zoho Forms account and build a form. So here, as you can see, I'm sharing my screen. I've already logged into my Zoho Forms account. On my left here, I have the Forms tab, Reports, Tasks and Approvals. All the forms that I've created are listed out over here. On the right-hand corner on top, we have the New Form option. So to create your form, you simply need to click on this. Now, there are two ways in which you can create your form. You can create it using a blank form as well as use one of the form templates to create. So I'll give you a brief look at the form templates that we have available today. For those who are familiar with Zoho Forms, you would already be familiar with our form templates. But for anyone new, I hope that this is a great introduction to all these pre-designed templates that we have available. We have business forms, reservation and booking forms, lead generation forms, human resources, and so many more. Here is a simple order form. All the fields that you may require are already put into your form templates. You can, of course, manipulate this and change this according to your needs. A donation form, a free trial request, which is under the lead generation section. We also have appointment booking forms, and of course, so many more. But today, we're not going to be using the form template. We're going to be creating a form with using the blank form option. Before I go on to that, I'd also like to mention that we have forms used for personal uses as well as for certain festivals such as Thanksgiving and Halloween. All right, so let's move on to creating our blank form. For today's demo, we're just going to be creating a simple contact us form. You can add in a description, which is optional, and click on create. Once you click on create, you can see that your form builder opens up. On the left, you have all your fields listed out. The two sections, basic fields and advanced fields. Under advanced field, we have the payment option, the subform option, which allows you to create multiple listings within your form. We have terms and conditions. We also have the Zoho CRM field, which is a part of our integration with Zoho CRM. And this integration we will be explaining to you in a much more comprehensive and a much more detailed manner in one of our future webinars coming up. So I hope you'll look forward to that. So let's start building our form. You do not need to have any coding knowledge to build your form. You just need to drag and drop your fields into your form. Today we're going to do name, and let's add an email address. That's it. I'm going to stick to two fields today. Now you can change up the properties of your field by simply clicking on it, and your field properties pop-up opens up. Here you can change the field label as well as add instructions for your respondents to fill in your fields. You can change up how the field size is shown, whether you want this field to be small, medium, or large. You can also manipulate with the visibility of the field, hide the field or disable the field anytime along the way if you ever feel that it is not required for your respondents to view these fields. And finally, all the data that your respondents enter can be marked as personal or encrypted so that their data is safe. Once you're happy with your field properties, you need to click on save. And whatever properties that you changed up will be reflected in the fields here. Now that we've created our simple form, I'd like to have a look at how it looks like to my respondents. And to do so, I'm going to click on the Access Form button here. And this is what my live form will look like. I'm just going to fill in my name here and submit a small entry. And later on, we can see where these entries land up within the Zoho Forms builder. All right, my response has been submitted successfully. So now that we've built our form, I'll give you a minute to yourself to build your form on your own or simply to explore the form builders along with me. I'll repeat the steps. You need to log into your Zoho Forms account. Click on Create New Form. You can either use the blank forms option, or you can create a form with the help of one of the pre-designed templates that we have available. If you're using the blank form option, you can enter the form name and add a description as well, which is optional. Once within the builder, you simply need to drag and drop your required fields. You can change up the field properties as well. Your form gets auto-saved, so you do not need to click on any save button. And once you're happy with your form or you'd like to test out how it looks and how it works, you can click on the Access Form option on the top right-hand corner to view your live form. All right, I hope that was enough time for you to test out the builder yourself. Of course, we have a wealth of information available in our help sections if you ever need any help building your form or doing any of the other or exploring any of the other features available under Zoho Forms. And if that is also not sufficient, we have a great support team available to help you out anytime you need. So now that we've built our form, we can move on to our next hands-on, which is sharing your forms. So I'm going to go back into my builder now. And on the top here in this bar, you can see all these tabs available: the rules, settings, themes, sharing tab, integrations as well. Today we're going to look into the share tab. Once you click on the share tab, the share options open up. We have many ways in which you can share your forms. You can share them publicly via a form permalink or URL, or via a QR code, which helps which your respondents can use to access via their phones. We can also share on social media, or you can share your forms to specific users privately with the help of an email. You can change up the email body here and add in the email addresses of all the users you'd like to send your form to. Finally, you can share your form to all the users in your organization in a similar way via an email. Today, we're not going to be exploring all these types. We're just going to be seeing how we can share our form publicly with the help of a QR code. Before I move on to that, I'd also like to show you that you can embed your forms into websites or web pages with the help of all these embed options. For example, we have JavaScript, iframe, hyperlink, HTML and CSS, and so many more options that you can use to embed your forms into your websites or into web pages. You can also share your forms via email campaigns with the help of our integrations with Zoho Campaigns and MailChimp. And finally, you can track your entries with the UTM tracking and Google Tag Manager options. So to share your form publicly, you just need to copy this wherever you need the URL, or you need to download the QR code. I already have a form, a contact us form created for us today, and I am going to show you the QR code for it. So you can scan the QR code with your mobile phone. This is just a small quick activity. So you can see what a form which is shared via a QR code looks like in your mobile phones. And it's optional, but you can fill in the data as well. I've given a small little field there for you, so for you to ask any questions that you have regarding Zoho Forms, or request any topics for future webinars for us to take up. You simply need to use your phone to scan this QR code available on the screen right now. I would love to see a lot of the participants, a lot of you attendees participating in this little task. We will definitely get back to you if you have any questions available for us. Okay, I hope that this was enough time for you to try scanning the QR code with your mobile phones and filling in the data available in the form there. So before we have a look at all the entries that we've received with the form that I just shared, we'll move on to our next hand-on, which is the exploring the Zoho Forms reports. So now we've created our form successfully, we've shared it, and now we need to know where our entries, that is the responses that our respondents send us, fall in. So to do so, I'm going to go into the reports section here. Also, before I begin talking about reports, I'd like to mention that the other share options that I just discussed with you, we will be speaking more in depth about them in future webinars as well. So now we have the reports tab open, where you can see all our reports listed out here. Now to create a new report, you just need to click on the new report option here. I'm going to create a report for the form that I just built earlier, which is the contact us test form, which I created for today's demo. I'm just going to name my report. And this is a very crucial step. You need to select the right form for which you want the report to be created. So this is the form I created just earlier. So I'm going to click on this and click on create. Once I'm done, the reports builder opens up with the general settings available for you. You can change these up according to your needs and click on save. You also have the option to add custom filter and auto filters to your report entries. So you can filter out whatever entries you need and you do not need currently. And you can also show or hide specific columns or fields within your reports. So for example, if I don't need to see my email addresses, I'm going to uncheck that checkbox here. Once I'm done, I'm going to click on Save. Now to see where all the entries fall in, we have the Entries tab here, which will lead us to all the entries. As you can see, that little form that I filled in as a test, the entry of it is reflected in my reports. I can delete these, I can assign tasks to these entries, and I can also merge documents with them. You also have the option of editing entries in case you would like to change up any data that has been submitted. You have the option of sharing and exporting your reports here on the right-hand corner, where you can export your report as a PDF or a CSS file. So now that we've seen our report here, I'm going to have a look at the report that I created for the form that I just shared now via the QR code. So as you can see, we have a whole bunch of submissions here. Thank you, Emily and Daniel and Sendul Kumar, for all your submissions. If you have any questions for us, which is hidden right now, we will get back to you for sure. All right. So with this, we have had a look at how you can build your form, how you can share it, as well as a look at the report builder within the forms. So I'm going to give you a minute to explore the reports tab yourself. Once again, to do so, you need to click on the reports tab. I'll guide you through the process again. Click on the new report button to create your report. You can type in your report name, and something which is essential is select the form for which you want to create the report. And make sure you select the right form for which you want to create the report, because all the entries of that particular form will fall into this report here. Once you're done selecting your form, you click on Create, and your reports will be created. Under the All Entries section, you will be able to see all the form responses that you have received. You can edit these form responses, delete them. You can also show or hide certain fields within the form responses, within the entries that you've received. You can export these as files to be saved offline. And finally, you can add custom filters to filter out form responses to show only the ones that you need currently. The filtering process does not delete any of your entries. It merely filters them out. You can also remove the filter whenever you need it. All right, so that's it. We have now created our form. We've shared it publicly with the help of a QR code, and we've also had a look at the report builder to see how you can view and analyze submitted data. So, with this, I will end today's session and I will hand it over to my colleague Shruti. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope that this session was a recap to anyone who's already familiar with Zoho Forms. And to those who are new, I hope that this was a comprehensive look and an introduction to Zoho Forms. My name is Arshia, and I'll be signing out and handing it over today. And I look forward to seeing you in future sessions as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ashia. We can all agree that the session was fantastic. We hope you found this session pretty useful. As mentioned earlier, we have a product support staff here to answer your questions. So, any question you might have in this session or Zoho Forms in general, do not hesitate to shoot it in the questions tab. You can find it in the left panel. Meanwhile, there are a few more polls for you. The third poll for the day is, what topic would you like us to address next? Would you like us to go for online businesses with branding and custom themes and payment options, or automating workflows with approvals and tasks and conditional rules? Please vote and let us know your choices. All right, I'll quickly share the results to everyone. So looks like most of you have gone for the automating workflows option. We'll try to cover more about automating workflows in the future sessions. Thank you for participating in the poll. And the last poll for the day is, would you look for the most when subscribing to a data collection platform? So this is an open-ended question. I'm leaving the poll open for a while. You can take your time to answer it. Moving on to the recap, we started with an introduction to Zoho Forms, which led to some hands on experience with the product and a few activities to loop you in on the workings of Zoho Forms, and then we landed at our QA session. If you have any queries or doubts while using the product later, drop us an email at support@zohoforms.com. We're available 24 by 5. You can also share your testimonials and feedbacks to feedback@zohoforms.com. Your opinions will be considered and followed. So, we have reached the end of the session. On behalf of Zoho and our team, I thank everyone for joining in this session and making it a success. Thank you so much for the enthusiastic participation in the polls and the QA session, guys. Stay safe, take care, and I hope to meet you all very soon. Thanks once again, guys. Once again, any questions you might have, just send us an email at support@zohoforms.com. It will be answered. This session will be wrapped now. Thank you.